All right, it's bragging time. I've only been on my new job for 5 days, 6 days, something like that. I started Monday. Today's Saturday, but Monday I was in orientation. So I've been in the truck since Tuesday, 5 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days. So far in 5 days, the company average, this is my safety report. They got this safety deal on my, I want to call Qualcomm, but it's actually a tablet. And so it's called NetraDyne. I don't even know. But anyways, I got basically it's a dash cam in my truck, and it's got a camera on all four sides, but it's optional to be able to cover up the one that videotapes the bunk area, which I value my privacy. Now, if these are up, the side cameras can see the passenger seat and the driver's seat. They just can't see inside my bunk, which they don't really need to. So, um, a lot of times I drive with the visors down just because the sun. And but I usually leave the passenger one down all the time. I do that all the time, anyways, in most all my trucks. But this one, it just depends on where the sun is and if it's day or night. So usually this one's up and those are down, so they can see me while I'm driving. They can see out the driver's side window. I should have this up when the sun's not in my eyes, but I forget to put it up half the time, because then that way they can see better out the passenger side window. If I was in an accident, the camera is good. It covers your butt as well as it tattles on you. It's a two-way street. But anyways, this app that's tied in with the camera and has like an AI type of system tied into it as well, basically records everything I'm doing and it rates me. And you might, in a bad way, you might say it's kind of like a social credit score, but it's like a social safety score. But anyways, I don't know. I like it, but I'm a safety guy. If I wasn't a safety guy, then I probably wouldn't like it so much. But um, I can see pros and cons to this, but so far I'm liking it. I've only been driving for the new company for 5 days. And right now, looking at the monthly average, of course, like I said, I've only been driving for 5 days, but the monthly average is 857 for that. That's for the whole company. Now, they told me that I want to keep my score above 800, I believe it was. 600 is bad. I guess this line here is 800 or somewhere in there. Pretty close. And then that line, the green line, is 950. So my goal is to stay above the green line, but they want me to stay above the gray line, which is 800. So ideally, they want me to stay as close to 1,000 as possible, probably. They said, this is the weird part. They said that in orientation that I would start out with 1,000 minutes, because everybody starts out with 1,000 minutes or points. Sorry, 1,000 points. And but I did not start out with 1,000 points, so I don't understand how that works. I guess let's see if I go back. Oh, that's monthly. Let's go back to November 30th. My score was 999. Maybe I did start out with 1,000 points. But when I looked at this other thing here, Weird. Now it's showing us I started out with 1,000 points, but when I looked at it the other day, it wasn't showing that. So, okay, well, there it is. Okay, so I started out with 1,000 points. It just didn't appear that way at first, but I guess they kind of balanced it out eventually. I don't know how the system works. So the the company average is 857. Right now, so far within the last 5 days, my average is 968. So I'm 111 points above average, which is cool. Today I got my first green star, which is great. That's freaking awesome. I don't know what it means, but it means it's a good thing. Now I got 6 bad alerts. Now you might say that's really bad. However, I really only got 1 bad alert. So for the past 5 days, because I covered up this camera going into the sleeper berth or the sleeper, that counts as 1 negative point. So for 5 days, I've got 5 negative points plus 1 actual negative point. So I got 1 negative point and 1 positive point in the last 5 days. The negative point was a hard break. I was in Chicago and hard breaking 1, camera obstruction 5. So there's my 6 points. So like I said, this first one doesn't really count. But if I covered the other cameras, then I guess I would have higher points. So for every camera that's obstructed, you get more points. And from what I was told, if I cover the camera or whatever, if I can't, when I was in orientation, they said if I have camera obstruction, then I would be terminated. And then I got this and I freaked out. And so I called safety to be like, what's going on? But they were like, oh, don't worry about that. So my theory, I have to double check this, but I just thought about it, is that each camera covered is a point. So if I covered more cameras, then I would have more negative points. This would be 20 negative points already. That'd be really bad. But anyway, so I only really had 1 negative point, and that was a hard break while I was in Chicago, and that was like the first day. So, and I got this automatic truck. I got this brand new truck. It's a 2020. I'm used to older equipment, not used to this newer equipment. So I had to get used to, and I'm not used to pulling a dry van. I'm used to pulling a tanker. So, and I hadn't driven in Chicago in years. So was getting used to Chicago. They had me running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to find an empty trailer, because the first place they sent me to get a trailer, there was no trailer. Then they sent me over to get a trailer somewhere else, and there was one there. And then I barely made it to the shipper to pick up the load in time. Actually, I was late, but they loaded me, so I barely made it. And then I was also running on a quarter tank of fuel. By the time I got fuel, I had like an eighth of a tank of fuel, so I was kind of freaking out there. So it was crazy. It was a crazy first day. But it's been getting better ever since. I love this company so far. It's been awesome. So anyways, back to this. So I'm not the reason I'm videotaping isn't because of my 968 score. Okay, so let's go to weekly. My weekly score is 974. Okay, so my monthly score is 968. The average for the month, of course, like I said, I've only been doing this 5 days, so it's kind of not fair. So we'll ignore that. But so far, I'm above the average for the month. Now, going to the week, I got a higher point for the weekly average, 974, but I still got 2 days left on my week technically. So that's still kind of not fair, but it's closer to accurate, all right? So the company average, 862 minus 964. So that is 112 points above average. Pretty good, right? So let's go to daily. Today, this is where I got my green star. I am 1,006 points. I'm like really excited about that. 1,006 points. So the average for today is 874, and mine's 1,006. So I'm way above average on that one. So I'm really liking that number. But anyways, so it's like the company average is coming up. It looks like, for like apparently last month it was really bad, or more worse, anyways. 857 for the monthly average. Then this last week, they brought it up by what, 5 points. So, and my so-called good driving may have brought that score up a little bit too. And then what was that, 862, and then 874. I mean, I don't know how many drivers they got. They probably got 1,000 drivers. I never really checked. But yeah, my 1,006 score today really probably helped that score a lot. Oh, let's see what yesterday's score was. So 874 for today. Yesterday's score was 846. And my average yesterday was 978. So that's amazing. 2 points, 2 alerts yesterday. Wait a minute. What happened yesterday? Oh, well, I don't know what happened yesterday. How did I get 2 alerts? Because I didn't get a brake alert. I don't know what happened. Oh, I know what happened. I was messing with the camera yesterday. It didn't actually count against me, apparently. But I pressed these buttons, and I guess those buttons take pictures or something. I was just jacking with the camera yesterday, and I hit those buttons, and I think that was my alert for yesterday. Was that I hit those buttons. If I can find out why I got the alert. It said, I looked at it yesterday, and it says something about driver doing something. And I can't figure out where to get there. Oh, here we go. Maybe. Hard braking, hard acceleration, which I don't think that's even possible in these trucks. Anyways, hard turn. Haven't got that one yet. Following distance. My following distance, I've been trying to keep it at 6, but it's just under 4, which apparently that's a good thing, but I still think it should be above 4. What was that violation? Or not violation, but that alert. Oh well. Anyways, I forgot what it said, but it said something about driver initiating something, blah blah blah, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I hit those buttons. I was cleaning the windows, and I hit those buttons because I was checking out the camera, and that's what it was. So I got a negative point for that. Don't touch the buttons on the camera, whatever you do. All right, so yeah. Weekly review. Let's see what it says. Great job. Yeah, okay. So, anyways, so here's my. Oh. daily review for today. My average following distance was 3.6 seconds, and total minutes analyzed was 505, which is about how many miles I drove today. So, weekly 3.6, 3.6, monthly 3.5. So I'm averaging about 3.5, 3.6 seconds following distance, which, like I said, I prefer it to be 4 or better, but apparently this is good. I don't know that it will record anything more than 4, to be honest. I'll have to find out. So maybe I'm actually doing better than I think, or the better than this is saying. It just may not be recording anything more than 4. I don't know. So, but I'm trying to bring that number up to at least 4 if I can. Don't know if that's possible with this AI system that they have, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. November 29th. So my first day driving was the 30th. So, so I'll have a good week's analysis tomorrow. I don't know if that, well, maybe I did start driving on the 29th. I don't know. I don't know how this thing works. I'm still learning. So, anyways, I'm really happy and proud about this score for today. I just wanted to brag about it. So, yeah, this app is called NetraDyne. NetraDyne. So, yeah, check that out if you're a trucking company. You might like it. If you're the driver, you might not, unless you're a safety guy like me. I'm a safety guy. Rule number 1 for me is safety. Legal, legal is in the eye of the beholder. I'm safety first, lawful, probably lawfuls first, then safety second, then legal, and then the other stuff after that. That's my priority list. Legal is not necessarily lawful, and legal can be unsafe and it can be unlawful. So really, legal is only just because we have no choice but to do legal anyways. Most of the things that, I wouldn't even say most, I'd say probably half of the legal things that I do, quote unquote, I do under duress. And unless unless it has to do with safety, and unless the legal whatever it is lawful, then I don't do it under duress. Maybe some of it because I may not want to do something that's lawful, but yet I do it anyways because I know it's the right thing to do. But yeah, that's the thing people need to learn, the difference between legal and lawful, especially cops and any kind of law enforcement. Because they're not necessarily enforcing law. They think they are, but they're not. They're enforcing legal. And legal is not always lawful. So if you're a cop or a cop if you're watching this and you are a cop or a cop, then educate yourself and educate others on the difference between what is legal and what is lawful, and enforce what is lawful first, and then use what is legal with a grain of salt, because it may or may not be lawful. So, binding contracts are binding contracts, but if the binding contract is unlawful, then it's an unlawful contract, therefore it's no longer binding. So, what do you do? Right? So, there you go. Lawful trumps legal. All right, bye.